Hey, what's up guys, it's Seeker here with some more tips for Helldivers, and this one specifically will be focusing on the bugs. Now, among the three enemy races in Helldivers, the bugs, the Illuminants, and Cyborgs, the bugs are often thought of as the easiest, but they are also very tricky to get around, especially due to their armor. Especially the tanks, of course. These guys are heavily packing in armor, and therefore it just generally gives you hell. Which brings us to our first tip. Armor piercing ammunition. If your weapon can pack armor piercing ammunition, or if you do have this bonus on one of your weapons, I generally advise using it. The armor piercing rounds are best used against the bugs, of course, because they're high armor. Their health is moderate at most, but the armor is the real issue, especially when it comes to just the grunts. Once the scouts call in some little medium infantry type guys, these guys usually can pack a lot of armor, let's say health, a lot of armor, especially in the medium difficulties and the medium to high difficulties. The only way to fight this off is either to spray a lot of rounds, use explosives or stratagems, or use armor piercing ammunition. Now, the other options, of course, firing a lot of rounds is not a good idea, of course, because you can run out of ammo very quickly in Helldivers, as well as you can go up between reloads. Explosives and stratagems are nice, but they do have their limited uses and cooldowns on the stratagems. So, armor piercing ammunition is the best option to go with when you are fighting the bugs. If you can bring it to the party, bring it. I mean, honestly, this will not disappoint you. Cracking for that armor is the first step to wiping these bitches out. Now, while we're still on the topic of weapons, shotguns and SMGs are highly preferred for these type of missions. When you are playing against the bugs, use shotguns and SMGs. Shotguns, I can't really give too much on them because I'm not generally a shotgun type of person in any game at all, other than, I guess, Halo from like 10 years ago. That is like the most I've used a shotgun in a game. I'm not big on shotguns, so I can't really go too much into it, but I do know a good asset when I see it, and therefore these shotguns, especially the breaker, I see is a very popular weapon, and there's a reason for that. It really does destroy these guys, as well as take out groups of scouts in even one shot. The breaker shotgun is a very valuable choice. It's not one of mine because, of course, I'm more of an SMG kind of person. As for the SMGs, highly prefer these. These do have, like a lot of them do have the armor piercing rounds, as well as the stun rounds, which are very good when fighting the bugs, because the bugs make up for everything else what they lack in numbers. In sheer numbers, they do try to overwhelm you. Because of that, you usually need a lot of rounds, or you need to stun them, or you need to break that armor very quickly. And SMGs are perfect for this. But the other reason for that is because of their mobility. The SMGs are one-handed weapons. You can use them while carrying briefcases or any other type of carry-on that you need to carry. I don't think there's anything else you can carry, actually. But they do offer a high battle mobility, and therefore, being a one-handed weapon, even if you go down, you can still use them, which is great for fighting off those last little bits of the onslaught of bugs that are just coming at you endlessly. Honestly, they just keep on coming and coming and coming and coming. But SMGs are the perfect choice for this because of their high mobility, of course, and one-handedness. When you are fighting the bugs, like I said, they try to overwhelm you in numbers. Your mobility is your greatest strength there, because you need to keep moving away, especially when it comes to those little poisonous ones. They generally try to slow you down enough time for the other ones to move in. So therefore, you need that mobility. I wouldn't say cardio is necessary, but it does help. You don't have to go with that, but SMGs and shotguns, you should definitely go with these things. Now, like I said earlier, the tanks are the worst, or one of the worst units when it comes to fighting these bugs. They do pop up sporadically on the higher difficulties more often than you want them to, but when they do come in, they generally change up the entire fight. The reason for this is because their high armor makes all bullets useless. I mean, honestly, unless you're shooting the weaker version in the back, there's just no point. The armor is too heavy for any round to really puncture, and therefore you either need rockets or any other type of anti-tank weaponry. Now, I do recommend AT mines. The only way to get the AT mines, which are anti-tank mines, are to fully upgrade your anti-personnel mines. These, I know, they do require a lot of points, but it's really useful. Like I said, these units are usually overwhelming in force. They have to get in close. There aren't any ranged bug units, at least not yet in the game, and therefore they need to close the distance between you. If you have a display of freaking mines laid out across the field, they're gonna have to cross them, and when they do step on these, it obliterates them, honestly, especially once you get to the anti-tank mines. Even for the tanks, I've seen them step on 2 mines, and even the heaviest versions 3 mines on level 12 missions, and it will take them out. These mines are very close together, so therefore the tanks will step on multiple at a time. It really just wipes them out. I greatly recommend investing in some anti-tank mines, especially when you got to do defend objectives. I play a lot of solo, so that's where this experience is coming from too. So definitely, if you play solo, anti-tank mines over turrets. I honestly mean it. Another option is the Vindicator Dive Bomb. Of course, when it is maxed out, it gets the anti-tank explosives. Now, these are a bit more tricky to use. They do have a very fast activation time. I believe it's like 3 seconds or maybe even less. And when you do call in, bombs immediately come in and drop, whatever. But the heavier tanks like to survive these kind of splashes. Either way, the usefulness of the Vindicator Dive Bomb, because it's fast activation and its wide range of explosives, whatever, is good for taking out mobs and good for taking out the light of the tanks. So if you have put any point values in this, or you do like the Vindicator Dive Bomb, I advise going for level 3, and that of course too, the anti-tank mines and the Vindicator Dive Bombs, because they are generally very, very, very useful when trying to take out these larger tank units, or even when trying to take out a mob. These things help a whole lot. Another not so fun thing about the bugs is their nest. Their nests are the one objective you have to call in the held bombs for when fighting as the bugs. The held bomb, of course, takes a decent amount of time to come in, and even arming it is dangerous as hell too, because you have to hold the position down while these bugs are usually swarming, because it acts like a distractor beacon and it calls in a lot of bugs. When you call in the hell bomb, you have to defend it until the hell bomb drops, and then defend it to activate it and hope they don't destroy it before then, as well as try to get out of the range of it exploding. Now, when it comes down to this, there are other ways to take out these nests. You don't even have to use the hell bomb at all. There's some players notably using the recoilless rocket launchers or the EAT-17s. I've heard some people use the heavy attack vehicle, the HAV. Not to be confused with the APC, of course. The HAV is the one with the large anti-tank cannon, not the machine gun. I've used thunderous strikes, dive bombs. Any type of anti-tank type of weapons will, once they do enough damage, take out these nests, of course. The rail cannon can also do it, but due to the time and the fact that it only fires one round at a single nest, it is not the best option for it. The thunderous strike, if they are clustered together, is a good idea. And of course, the shredder missile is the perfect choice if you're able to grab that. Of course, it can take out any of the, I guess you can call them nests, beacons, or what are the AAA guns for the cyborgs. Any one of these type of objectives, the shredder missile will completely obliterate that. I mean, honestly, it leaves no trace. But yes, the thunderous strike, the dive bombs, I know sometimes it takes multiple dive bombs, so I wouldn't recommend that one, but if it's all you have and you don't like waiting for that hell bomb and you can't wait for it, you can throw a dive bomb. It has to land directly on it, I would advise. Mine was stage 3 or level 3 at the time, so I can't really go for I can't really say if the level 1s or 2s are capable of neutralizing it. Other than that, I believe those are the greatest alternatives for taking out these nests. Now, snow planets are a no-no. And I do mean no, 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 no. Snow planets with find the bugs are the most difficult. I mean, even more difficult than the Luminous. The Luminous, of course, are a very difficult race to fight, but their units generally don't rush you, and it's just not in so many numbers as the bugs. The bugs are not affected by the terrain, or none of the NPCs are affected by the terrain. And therefore, when you're trucking through that deep snow, the bugs are still moving at their normal, casual pace, and they will overwhelm you and catch up to you in no time at all. You will be fighting a very uphill battle. Like I said, I'm coming from solo experience. When you fight as a group, you have a better chance, of course. But if you do have to fight on a snow map, if it's on a high difficulty like I was playing on a level 12, then that was not a good idea. If it's a level 12 bugs mission, you're trying to solo it, I really don't think you should be trying that. But if you do have buddies, that of course will increase your odds. If you are soloing, or if you generally just know that you're going to struggle with the snow planet, or you're going to struggle with the bugs, or either or, know that they're going to multiply if they're both together. So therefore, use the vehicles to get around. I know some people like to use the jump packs for that, or the jet packs, and it's not a bad idea, but at the same time, it's not the best idea, honestly. The jump packs are delayed, you can't fire while you jump in, and generally the distance that you make is not that much. If you're jumping over a rock or some type of formation that obstructs their path to you, of course that's a good idea, but generally leaping all over the place with the jetpack is just not a good idea. If you can, the exosuit is the perfect option, of course, because the bullets can tear through just about anything, and the anti-tank rockets or the anti-personnel rockets will neutralize the tanks. The minigun, of course, that is armed with will shred all other bugs, and it's the perfect thing. You're not hampered in any way by the snow when you're in the exosuit, or the APC is also a good idea with those medium difficulties and lower. So if you have to play a snow mission, first of all, make sure you have to, and if you do have to, use a vehicle for it. Now, I know I just said the shotguns and SMGs are the weapons you should go for when playing as the bugs, but when mobility really isn't an issue, or if you're running cardio, or generally when you just don't give a fuck, the laser rifle is an awesome choice. In fact, I do use it more than my SMGs and shotguns, especially on the higher difficulties. If you're playing the medium to low difficulties, I do recommend the shotguns as SMGs, but if you're playing the higher ones, the SMGs, of course, will struggle a little bit when it comes to the heavier units, but the laser rifle will not, as well as the laser rifle does not run out of ammo, and you can run a single mission, or the entire mission, or even an entire plant with just one clip of ammo without never reloading. The reason for this is because the weapon has to overheat in order for you to reload, and you come with 2 additional clips. So, I mean, with 3 clips, and the fact that if you fire this and you control your weapon, you won't overheat it. It is perfect for it. The scythe will honestly gut even the highest difficulty missions when it comes to the medium infantry and the lower infantry. When it comes to the tanks, of course, you need something else, but for everything else, the scythe will gut these guys. Just make sure to hit them dead center. You do want to get them in that sweet spot to get as much damage as possible, but it will gut through them. The new weapon, the sickle, I believe it's called, is also a very vicious weapon. It will destroy these guys. Like I said, as long as you keep it from overheating, you're good to go. And because you do not need to pack additional ammo, you can relieve yourself of that resupply or that backpack ammunition stratagem, and that gives you another slot to work with. So laser rifles are perfect for fighting the bugs when it comes to this. I do not recommend them on a snow map because generally, like I was just saying, snow limits mobility, and generally when you're backstepping and try to keep your weapon from overheating at the same time, you will get swarmed and destroyed. In fact, it has happened to me a couple times just this week. But do know, the laser rifle is an awesome weapon. Don't give up on it. Put a little pointer to it, and learn how to control its heated issue, of course. After that, you will be near damn invincible. Now, when it comes to medium, of course, medium and lower difficulty missions, the minigun turret is one of the greatest assets you can use, especially when you have to defend a location. Whether it be the extraction site, or the capture points, or even defending a missile silo. When it comes to staying in one position and hold off against a horde of bugs, the minigun turret does like nothing else can, especially on these medium to low difficulties. This is because it's high rate of fire, and of course, it's high fucking rate of fire, and it's unlimited ammunition. The bugs will, of course, try to go for this, but they will usually be cut down in no time at all. When you do upgrade it, it does improve its tracking speed and its rate of fire, and it just generally will destroy these guys. Honestly, I can't remember how many times I've used this on any medium to low difficulty. I mean, like from 8 and down, even sometimes on 9. These things do destroy them. Keep an eye out for tanks, though, of course, when you get to the higher difficulties, because they will go for this thing and crush it in no time at all. So, generally, medium to low difficulties, grab that turret as soon as you can, put a point or 2 into it, and set it up. I mean, it's going to do the work for you. Just watch out for it. Remember to hit the dirt if it starts shooting your direction, or if you become the middleman in a turret bug sandwich. I mean, honestly, you want to hit the ground because it will shred you as well. Now, as I just said, this is usually for the medium to lower difficulties. Now, when it comes to the higher difficulties, or generally all difficulties, the Arc Tower or the Tesla Tower is, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it just completely obliterates these guys. It is kind of like the distractor beacon in a small sense. When they are nearby it, they will be drawn to it, and when you do upgrade it, it has a multi-bolt function, so therefore it will shock enemies in the vicinity, and then multiple enemies at a time, firing up to 2 or 3 bolts depending on your level. This thing will obliterate these guys. I remember using it even against the cyborgs at one point, and it took out the mechs. I mean, the mechs stepped into that circle, and it took them out. Do use caution if you do end up landing it too close to you, or if you run it around and not paying attention. If you enter that circle, it will shock you as well. It cannot determine friend or foe, so therefore it just shocks anyone in the vicinity. Now, when it comes to the higher difficulties, and you can't use that minigun, of course, because it generally can't crack through the armor on the heavier units, and it can't get through even the medium units in time for them to, before they destroy it. The Arc Tower is a perfect choice because it generally has a wide range and requires them to get a lot closer before they can do any damage, and therefore it's shocked them already. It is good for neutralizing scouts, and it's good for defending any type of capture or defend point, or just destroying access to an entire pathway. Do know the tanks will, of course, destroy this thing, but up until then, this thing will destroy anybody that gets within the vicinity of it, especially on its higher difficulties. It is a superb stratagem, and I do recommend it if you're able to grab this thing. Now, last but not least is the Guardian medical drone. This is, or I mean, just called it the Guardian. It's called the Angel drone. I just remembered it just that second after I already fucked up on the name. But who cares? It is very much a Guardian as well. The Angel drone is the drone that was included in the, I believe, the support DLC, and which is a small drone that takes the place of your backpack, and it heals any person or unit within the vicinity. This can include vehicles, turrets, even your Tesla tower, your friendlies, your survivors. It'll heal anybody within the vicinity. And once it gets the move and fire perk, it can move you. It can heal you on the run. The reason why I recommend it is not just because of its healing capabilities, because when those little poisonous bastards sneak up on you and poison you, it generally has a lot of, it has a good duration on this poison effect, and it's slowing your movement the entire time as well. You're taking damage. And the reason for that is that neurotoxin is supposed to slow you down just enough so that the other guys can move in and rip you to shreds. Now, the healing drone, once it does start healing you, it will neutralize the poison, and therefore it puts you back at full health, of course, and it also neutralizes the poison. And this practically cancels out those units entirely. While they are good at still meleeing in and killing you, they still require, they still need the poison, actually. That is the big threat when it comes to facing those little guys. I forgot what their names are, but just call them poison guys right now. The little praying mantis looking mother. Let's not go into that. But yes, the Angel drone, perfect choice for this. If you can pass up on your backpack slot, I'd recommend it. If you're running that laser rifle, of course, you don't need the ammo, so go ahead and bring the Angel drone, honestly. If you bought the DLC, go for it. If you haven't bought the DLC, I do recommend it. You can check out my other videos going over the support DLC, the commando DLC, and the, what is the other one called? Support, commando, and defender, of course. Defender DLCs. You can get them all for like $5 to $6 on PSN, and I do recommend them. Some awesome stuff in there, and definitely worth the price, honestly. Now, that concludes the tips for this video, of course. If I do get some more tips together and, get some more advice to give you guys, of course, I will pack it into another video and send it right out to you guys. But that is it for now for the bugs. Now, if you did like this video, all I ask is that you hit the thumbs up or thumbs down. Really do, look at these things, or you can drop a comment below saying whatever you want to say. I do pay attention to these things, and it lets me know what kind of things you guys are interested in. If you're saying, hey, this is a good video, I love the work you do, can you provide more tips on Illuminates? I damn sure will do some research and get you another video on Illuminates. Of course, the Illuminates is already on my list of videos to come up, so therefore, you'll be seeing that soon, okay? So you don't have to say that exactly, but you can say it if you want to. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section. You got anything to say? Comment section is down there below. You can always subscribe to my channel to know when that Luminous video drops, of course, or any more Helldivers videos. You can check out my channel because I do have tons of more videos on there, especially some Helldivers ones. You can even click one of the tiles right here to go to one of those videos. If you need to hit me up anywhere else, I'm available on Twitter and Google+. All links are in the description.